We will chant Agni Suktam for 7 days. Every Monday we will take up the new chantings. Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharashibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah Sarvopablavarahitah Prajnanaghanah Pratyagarthah Brahmaivahamasmi. Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogendra Mathasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padma Padam Chastamalakam cha Shishyam Tantodagam Vartikakaramanyaan Asmad Gurun Santatamanatosmi. Om Sadashivasamarambham Vyasashankaramध्यमाम् Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guruparamparām. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Spatikakrutim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Guru Pungava Pungava Ketanate Samatamayam Nahi Kopi Sudhi Sharanagata Vatsala Tatvanidhe Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvataitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavataitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurun Tannamami. Om Parabrahmane Namaha Shruti Matre Namaha Samasta Brahma Vidyacharya Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Shri Vedavyasa Vaishampayane Agnivalkya Adi Shankaradi Gurubhyo Namaha. Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Parabrahmana Shruti Matuhu Samasta Gurunam Devatanam Anugrahena Upanishadukta Brahmatmaikya Modhasya अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः हैन्दवसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान पुनर्जागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं तत्कृतसाधकानां कङ्कणबद्धानां भक्तानां उपासकानां संस्थापकानां सेवकानां च बाह्याभ्यन्तर विघ्नशत्रुनिर्मूलनद्वारा शक्तिसाधना सम्पदा सानुकूलितानां सिद्धिद्वारा अस्मिन् अति उत्कृष्ट सनातन धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम अग्निसूक्तस्य पारायणं तदनन्तरं श्री तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनस्य प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ अग्निसूक्तं। Let us chant Agnisuktam. Agni Bhagavan is the first one to express in the form. Before that, there is no form. Agni, all permeating in the universe, is the Agni Tattva, because of which we are alive and surviving. Is the Agni Tattva which expresses from the Lord or the Guru Mukha in the form of the Shabda to give us the knowledge. Therefore, for survival, for transmitting of knowledge, for the tapasya, the heat, the Agni is required. So, with this in mind, we pray to the Agni Tattva, Agni Bhagavan, Agni Deva to bless us with all auspiciousness, whatever he can do for our spiritual evolution. Om Atha Agni Suktam Rugveda Samhita Dashamam Mandalam Ashtamam Ashtakam Ashititamah Suktam ॐ अग्निः सप्तिं वाजभरं ददात्यग्निर्वीरं श्रुत्यं कर्मनिष्ठाम् अग्निरोदसी विचरत् समञ्जन्नग्निर्नारीं वीरकुक्षिं पुरन्धिम् अग्नेरप्नस समिदस्तु भद्राग्निर्मही रोदसी आविवेश अग्निरेकं चोदयत् समत्स्वग्निर्वृत्राणि दयते पुरोणे अग्निर्हत्यं जरत कर्णमावाग्निरद्भ्यो निरदहज्जरूथम् अग्निरत्रिं घर्म उरुष्यदन्तरग्निर्नृमेधं प्रजया सृजत्सम् अग्निर्दाद्रविणं वीरपेशा अग्निर्ऋषिं यः सहस्रासनोते अग्निर्दिवि हव्यमा तथा नाग्निर्धामानि विभृता पुरुत्रा अग्निमुक्तैर्ऋषयो विह्वयन्तेऽग्निं नरो यामनि बाधिता सह अग्निं वयो अन्तरिक्षे पतन्तोऽग्निः सहस्रापर्याति को नाम अग्निं विष ईलते मानुषीर्या अग्निं मनुषो नहुषो विजाताः अग्निर्गान्धर्वीं पथ्यामृतस्याग्निर्गव्योतिर्घृत आनिषत्ता अग्नये ब्रह्म रुभवस्ततक्षुरग्निं महामवोचामासु भृक्तिम् अग्ने प्रावजरितारं यविष्ठाग्नेमहि द्रविणमायजस्व ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्ण यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदा ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरचयिनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ पञ्चमोऽनुवाकः Chant the fifth Anuvaka with all the Shraddha and Bhakti. ॐ विज्ञानं यज्ञं तनुते कर्माणि तनुतेऽपि च विज्ञानं देवाः सर्वे ब्रह्मज्येष्ठमुपासते विज्ञानं ब्रह्म चेद्वेद तस्माच्चेन्न प्रमाद्यते शरीरे पाप्मनो हित्वा सर्वान् कामान् समश्नुत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योऽन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः आनन्द आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Salutations to Parabrahma, let us do. Salutations to Shruti Mata. Salutations to all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Rishi, Muni and Guru Devata Gana. Salutations to the Taittiriya Upanishad Guru Parampara of Vedavyasa Vaishampayana Yajnavalkya. Salutations to Bhashyakara Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankara. Salutations to our own Gotra Rishi Parampara. Salutations to all the Gurus, Masters who are guiding us from many lives and also those who are guiding us in this life. Salutations to the Guru whom we have accepted as the Guru and he is blessing us. Having said so, this Tattva Jnana, Tattvanubhuti alone is the moksha hetu. When the Tattva Anubhuti, Atma Anubhuti, Swarupa Anubhuti, Brahma Anubhuti doesn't come to us, if we don't establish in the truth or Brahma, then what is the other alternative? We are in the Jiva Bhava. The absence of Tattvanubhava, called as Jiva Bhava, itself is endowed with limitations. And anything limited, till it discovers the unlimited status, it will continue suffering its own limitations. And for you and I, the Jiva, the limitations are self-invited with the tadatmya of all these upadhis, the panchakoshas. Staying at the panchakosha identity level, living the life of limitations as a Jiva, wanting to get freedom, rid from all the dukkha and wanting to enter into the perennial happiness, it is an impossible task. With these understandings, we must be very clear that vina atma anubhuti mokshasya ashanka na asti. Then, while pursuing this path, right from the beginning of getting a chance to go to the Guru, listen from him the Upanishads with Bhashya and Brahma Vidya, and in that trying to understand every word, understanding every word, trying to understand every sentence, understanding the sentences, trying to catch the implied meanings, in which what is the sadhana in that for us to be done, how long that has to be done, what is the next step. At every of these levels, what helps us is nothing but the Guru and Ishvara Kripa. Without their Kripa, right from the step 1 up to the last step of Anubhuti of our Brahma Sarupa cannot happen without the Ishvara and Guru Kripa. Therefore, pursuing our Vyavaharik Dharma, minimizing it, pursuing our Shravana Swadhyaya and our own Vicharana, at the same time continuously pursuing the Upasana of the Guru and the Ishvara. with the only sankalpa that the Shastrokta Jnanadvarena Shastrokta Mukti Hetu Bhuta Brahma Anubhuti I must get. With this sankalpa only, any other sankalpa is binding. Only with this sankalpa, our own Guru Parampara, Guru Tattva, Guru Swarupa, when we do Upasana. Also, the Ishvara Upasana, who is not only the Srushti Sthiti Laya Karakaha, but the one who is also capable of blessing the sadhakas with sadhana and siddhi. That is Ishvara's Upasana also. With only this sankalpa, when we do, then the blessings of Guru Ishvara and our own prayatnam put together make us continue in this path, make us do all these sadhanas from the step one of chanting the mantras, understanding the word meaning, understanding sentence meaning, and through that understanding, therefore, what changes we have to bring in our attitudes, in our intentions, in our responses to the world. More important than all that, in our own identity. All these things start becoming crystal clear by the krupa of them, by our own efforts. So, never go beyond or go away from putting the efforts. Efforts we have to keep on doing, and never abstain also from the prayers, from the upasanas of the Ishvara. In these two things, our day should be fully engaged. Anything other than it is wastage of time, neutralizes, nullifies, makes meaningless our sadhana which we are doing. While doing the sadhana, we are doing Uddhared Atmana Atmana. Anything done other than sadhana will make us Atmanam avasadayet. That should not be done. Na Atmanam avasadayet. In this way, only in this mood, we try to be all the 24 hours of the day. Again, it is not possible in the initial days because of we are under the influence of the tremendous prakriti as well as our own prarabdha as well as our own vasanas. Vasanas have their terrible effect on us. The prarabdha has its own terrible effect on us. And the world in which we are, which is made up of Trigunatmaka Prakriti, we are in that. These three keep on showering or putting their influence on us. Most of it is distractive type. But again, the Prakriti is Swami, the Purusha, or the Prakriti Rupi Jagannatha. When again we do our own Upasana, Puja, worship, Prarthana, slowly the Prarabdha anyway gets exhausted. With that, the Vasanas also are getting exhausted. Then the Prakriti starts, instead of showing her Kopa and Prakopa on us, she starts cooperating with us by providing us with the Sattva Guna all the time, with the Upasana of that Mata. So, when the Utkarsha of Sattva Guna is there in us, by the grace of the Lord and the Prakriti Mata, the Prarabdham is going away, so the Vasanas also get reduced. Then the Guru is doing the Upadesha and we are listening the Upadesha of the Brahma Tattva through the Upanishads. We also are spending sufficient time in our own Swadhyaya, Manana and Chintana. All these efforts put together starts giving us the clarity about the truth that is explained in the Shastra. And whatever the obstructions are there in the experience of the truth, when we reject them with our efforts and our plan, and also the prayers of the Lord, and also the second and the last sadhana, trying to abide in the identity of the self till the time it is required to be done. When we perseveringly, patiently do, then as it happened to any of the sadhakas, whoever have tried like this, the experience of the truth, So it will happen to any one of us, every one of us. All our struggles of coming to classes every day, listening for hours together is for the purpose of this clarity only, which we have discussed last 10 12 minutes. And these efforts should go on because highest of the literature is Upanishad. Therefore, highest of the occupation when it is gaining the knowledge, it must be the knowledge of the Upanishad only. If this is given up, anything taken up, that is lower than this only. Therefore, we have to continue inspiring ourselves. One day we may understand, another day half understanding, some other day nothing is understood. That depends on the moods of the mind, the abilities of concentration, the krupa of the God or Guru, whatever it may be. But we are not going to give up our continuation of listening, whether we understand or not. Because if give up, then it is gone. If not in the Upanishadic class, tell the whole day where are we talked about or taught about the truth, the reality, the self, nowhere. So, in every other place where the truth, self, or reality is not spoken, then what is spoken is the untrue only, and not self only, unreal only. Right from the beginning, what is binding us is the unreal, untrue, and not self only. Again, we are involving in that only. Is it not going to make our bondage more and more stronger? Therefore, Nirantarata in our Upanishad Shravanam, Upanishad Swadhyayam, Upanishad Mananam, Upanishad Chintanam. To the maximum extent of our energy and mind cooperates. When the mind is tired, give it some rest in Bhagavan's Nama, in Bhagavan's Upasana, and again the refreshed mind should be brought back to the theme, the Brahma Vidya, as taught in the Upanishads. In this way, without having any third project in our life, only two projects. Doing the Atma Chintanam through the Upanishad, when we are tired, doing the Upasana to the Ishvara and Guru to again give us some more energy and strength through the Atma Chintana through the Upanishad. Again, we are tired, we go for it. Other than these two projects, there should be no third project. The third minimum project of whatever required for the maintenance of the body, maybe little food, maybe little rest for it, it is allowed. Anything other than that, having matured with our Viveka and Vairagya, we should be able to keep them away. And the Prarabdha to the Deha, we cannot stop, just keep on taking it as it comes. And when we are diseased and all we have Prarabdha, get the medication done and again back to our thinking of the truth. Even if you are required to be admitted by the law in the hospital of a doctor, give the deha to doctor. Let him operate, let them treat. Our mind is only on the truth as explained in the Upanishads. This type of effort, relentless, leading to the achievement, is a sign of a serious, sincere, matured, paripakva, adhyatmika, vedanta, tattva chintaka, sadhaka lakshana. Everyone will have to reach to that. People take lot of time, we also take lot of time. Luckily today we have understood. When we try to implement this understanding, we too will reach to that stage of allowing everything to happen according to prarabdha. But we ourselves consciously, with all our abilities, do or put our efforts only in the direction of the Shastrokta Jnana Chintana, Jnana Sadhana, Jnana Anubhuti. May we all, by the grace of entire Guru Parampara and the Narayana Ishvara, come to this stage of pure sadhaka being very soon, early as possible, in this very moment, in fact. So, this is how may our study of Shastras give us the crystal clear, unambiguous clarity regarding our Siddha Vastu or Siddhi or the achievement, so to our sadhana. The purpose of our studying various shastras is again for this reason. Good, few years we have spent, but not sufficient. There should never be a time limit कि मैं तब तक करूँगा कोशिश इतने साल तक. After that I will leave. This is wrong commitment. The right commitment is till the clarity comes, till the sadhana happens, till the anubhuti comes. Neither I am going to leave this path, nor I am going to leave the study of the Upanishads in quotes. Study of Upanishads in quotes. Many other things you may study, but they are all lesser than the Brahma Vidya Moksha giving Upanishadic study. You may study Ramayana, Mahabharatam, Bhagavatam, stories, Upasanas, Bhakti, Prema, Dharma, all of them are good. But for all of them, the meaning is given by the Vedanta Tattva because only in the Vedanta the Laksha is Spashta Rupena indicated. To reach to this Laksha, all of them are to be done. If this Laksha is not remembered because we have not studied Upanishads, then all other things we do for the other Laksha of to be continuing in the samsara only. So maybe not allow that type of missing in our life. Nitya Nirantara Upanishad, Shravanam Adhyanam to keep intact regarding our goal to be Brahma Paramatma, tuning to that alone, all our bhajana, kirtana, upasana, everything else we do. And other than this, any other things, how much ever it appears to be important, appears to be tempting, like that Nachiketa, we should have the guts to say no to them. There's no better example than Nachiketa for us who are the students of Upanishad because all powers, all positions, all possessions, all pleasures, everything was offered to him. He said, other than Brahma Jnana, Brahma Vidya, I want nothing else. Come what may. And therefore, Yamaraj gave him the Brahma Vidya and he could take it. The combination of giver and taker, fulfilling that giving and taking, happens when the giver also is as great and glorious as Yamadharmaraja, and the receiver also is as great and glorious as the Nachiketa. Nachiketa says nothing other than Brahman I want. Yamaraj, having failed in tempting the Nachiketa with all the powers possession, he also comes to conclusion the only way I can express my love to such a highly qualified disciple is by giving Brahma Vidya. Then in him also all the secondary thoughts gone away, only primary thought of giving Brahma Vidya expressed in the form of giving that Brahma Vidya. And thus, having received it with full contentment, folded hands, Sri Nachiketa ji discovered the self in him, did the prachar of same. Yamadharmaraja also fully contended that at least one disciple with the highest qualification has come to me, I have taught him enough. And thus, their interaction has become one of the sweetest to greatest of the Upanishads Katha. In the same way, may we all be that type of sadhakas, may we all get that type of gurus to guide us on this path. May we not get derailed from, distracted from this path for any self created inner reasons or any outer influential, powerful reasons from the world. Having said so, we are in the delight of studying the greatest, beautiful Upanishad, Taittiriya. We have seen Shiksha Valli, mostly it was covering the Upasana by which the Antakarna becomes Shuddha, by which the personality is tuned to the totality, by which the totality is not troubling us, only blessing us. All of that was done in the Prathama Shiksha Valli, we studied exhaustively. In the second Brahmananda Valli Dvitiya, we are given the Mukti Hetu of Brahma Vidya. So, the Sutra Vakya is told and it is explained by the Pramana Vakya from the Rigveda Brahmana. Then that Sutra Vakya talks about Brahmavid apnoti param. Brahmavid, Brahmavid apnoti param. These three are so beautifully explained by the mantra portion of the Rigveda. The first word is Brahma. The explanation of Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Second one is Brahmavitu. Further, the explanation is Yo Veda Nihitam Guvayam Paramem Yoman. Third one is Apnoti Param. That is explained as So Shnute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipashchita. The ones who have thoroughly understood this, then for them the goal will be only to obtain the Brahma Vidya Brahmanubhuti. To such people now, the sadhanas indicated to travel from where he is right now stationed to that self, the Brahma, in Anubhuti. And where are we are stationed? Among the five koshas or the layers or sheaths are the personality expressions. At the grossest Annamaya we are. Therefore, the journey starts from slowly, steadily, thoroughly understanding Annamaya Kosha, understanding its purpose in our life, understanding its limitations. More importantly, understanding that the Annamaya is not independent. There is another thing inside it which is the one on whom the Annamaya depends. And that second kosha, whatever it is to be identified by us. So that from the identity of Annamaya, we are slowly getting withdrawn. Remember, this theory is 100% foolproof. This practice is 100% possible and to be made possible, and the consequent experience that I am the Pranamaya Kosha, not the Annamaya Kosha, also is possible and should be made possible. Only at the theory level, if we are not doing practically, then we will never be evolving in our sadhana. We may have the information. So, in this way, from the Anna to the Prana, from the Prana to the Mana, from the Mana to the Vijnana, every day we have to do. Every day our prarabdha and samskara tries to pull us to the lower koshas, whichever they are. Every time, every day, our opposite efforts should be to rise above that lower kosha into the higher. Let us say straight away that day the inner personality is identified as the manomaya. No trouble of anna prana. But manomaya also is not an atma. Therefore, we have to try to reach to the vijnanamaya. That day, when the whole identity is with the prana level, which is lower, that day we have to do our sadhana to lift ourselves to the manomaya kosha tadatmya. That day, when too much of annamaya tadatmya is there, which is generally, that day all our efforts are to rise above the anna to come to the prana, from prana to the mana. So all the time the effort is to ascend from one stula kosha identity to the stula kosha, sukshma koshas. All the time we are aware at this moment, where am I identified with and living life? Oh, okay, it is the laziness. Therefore, I am in Annamaya kosha. Now, by understanding or becoming aware of the Annamaya kosha explanation, by knowing that the Annamaya is the Atma of the Pranamaya is Atma Annamaya. Trying to identify the prana, we try to come out Anna. In this way, like anybody who is interested or desirous of any of the things, they are going on thinking about that. We also who are students of Taittiriya Upanishad who are given the path of Panchakosha Viveka, Panchakosha Tyaga, Panchakosha Atita Brahma Anubhuti Prayatnam, we have to engage only in this all through the day till it happens. And the thing is what, when one does sincerely, seriously, it shall happen, it ought to happen, it will happen. Otherwise, the Rishi Munis would have not given us this prakriya for Atmanubhuti and Moksha. Unless they have tested it and again, they won't make it. An Upanishad, a guidance to sincere seekers of the moksha. Now we have seen Manomaya Kosha. Don't be having any ambiguity. Very clear. Annamaya Kosha is made up of Annarasa, maintained in Annarasa, goes back to Annarasa, given to me to be in that as a heart mentor. While maintaining that Annamaya Kosha, more than that, nothing is required to be done with it. All else is we have to do with our individual spiritual sadhana. Any extra value given to Annamaya Kosha, all that makes us identify with the Annamaya more and more. Like in the house, a decent house you make, stay in that. House is only to stay. More we attend only to the house with all the unwanted things made as wanted, as the luxuries made as needs, then we will really achieve all of that. But then our life is only sacrificed, wasted only for that purpose. This is called moha or maya, where anything other than Paramatma, when we start involving in it, it is endless. We have to put an end. That putting an end is called as doing minimum and being contented. I have to stay under a roof to protect myself from the rain, the sun, the winds, and all. So, small house is made, requirement is fulfilled, enough, contented in that. Then, whole mind is no more wasted in only trying to make the house more and more comfortable, which has no end to it. Knowing this only, our Rishi Munis those days, a small kutiram they make, that's it for the whole life. Not that they could not make 100 manzila building like we are making now. A big palatial house with 22 rooms, 29 bathrooms. Not that they could not make. If they have discovered Brahma Vidya, it is all en route only these achievements. They could have done it, but they knew there is no end to it. Therefore, they only have put an end. I'm talking about the example of the house to say that the Annamaya Kosha also is a house. Like to the house, when you start giving importance, there is no end to its beautification, improvisation. Some people do that. At the age of 35, taking the loan from bank, they made a house. Throughout life and service, all the time their minds is how to improve the house. So his thinking is that only. He is achieving, but he is limited only in that thinking and achievement. तो 1 साल फर्निशिंग करेगा, 1 साल एक्सपेंड एक्सटेंड करेगा, 1 साल प्लास्टरिंग बदलेगा, 1 साल पेंटिंग बदलेगा, 1 साल फ्लोरिंग ही विल चेंज, 1 साल द एक्सटीरियर्स ही विल चेंज. He is doing all, but he is in samsara. He doesn't understand. He is using his time only for that. And who is he? You and me only. Just like it is with the house, so too to me, the jiva, the sharira, the annamaya is a house. Only that much we involve in it. Anything more than that is getting lost. That creates vasanas. Those vasanas push us with strong desires to repeat the same one. We are the victims that way, therefore, of our own mistaken doings, creation of vasanas, forced by the desires again and again to repeat that. That chain, with our conscious efforts, we have to cut. So to the Pranamaya level. The Pranamaya Kosha is permeated with the Annamaya. Its job is to supply energy to the Annamaya Kosha. That has to be regulated through regulated, disciplined activities, again, which are required in our life for our conduction. At the Pranamaya level, living the life of Dharma, for that using the energy enough. More than that, the Pranamaya Kosha should not be, with Pranamaya Kosha. The identity will be there only in one way. That is, we are slaves of hunger and thirst. But the other problem it is what? If it is not properly controlled, maintained, all the energy of the Pranamaya gets wasted. How much ever the Manomaya Kosha has got its own knowledge or Veda mantra, but the ability in the Manomaya to work comes from the pranamaya only, because pranamaya is the energy supplier of all the koshas. Therefore, if the pranamaya is not disciplined, then all the energy is wasted. Then we will not be able to do the higher works at the higher kosha level of manabuddhyadi. That care we have to take with pranamaya. Pranamaya is prana shakti. The prana shakti comes from the annapana. So अन्नपान का स्थूल भाग शरीर बनता है, अत्यंत स्थूल goes out waste. The second सूक्ष्म भाग becomes शरीर, अन्न रस. More सूक्ष्म भाग becomes the prana shakti. The prana shakti can directly be gained from the vayu also outside. The yogis achieve it. Those who have done the pranayama, the sadhanas. In fact, just like the prana shakti supports the manomaya kosha, so too with the mana also one can invoke the prana shakti. These are all very sublime yogic achievements and practices. Those things which we don't study much, because all of them are taken care by us for us in our Vedantic Vicharana. When we are aiming at the Brahma Tattva, all of these things we don't worry that much, because everything we cannot do in one lifespan. That's what. From the Anna, the Prana Shakti comes. From the Vayu, the Prana Shakti comes. From the Mana, also the Prana Shakti comes. But the same Prana Shakti, when it is misused, the Annamaya Kosha gets tired, then the Prana Shakti gets weakened, then Manomaya cannot be efficient. Even though it's a great social service you are doing. But while doing that great social service throughout the day, all the prana shakti is gone for it. With that weakened prana shakti ability, do you think you can do your bhajana, bhakti? You can't even do the bhakti of the mana. Do you think you can do the Vedanta Shravana of the buddhi? Impossible. Because energy is gone. Not knowing this, people get lost only in the social services. Whole energy is gone for that. The time is gone for that. The opportunities are only misused for it. And that think that alone is the goal. Bhagavan says, Sarva Dharman Parityachya. And we are holding on to all those things as the Dharma. And we being intelligent, we go on justifying. We being egoistic, we don't listen to anyone who says something higher than this. That's how we get lost, caught up in what we think is correct. We go on doing only that. That's why the Guru Sharanagati, frequently contacting the Guru, telling him, these are the things I am doing, this is the state of my mind. Then the Guru says, either continue or you have done it with sufficiently. Now you leave that. This is the next sadhana for you. देखो, कोई भी साधना को करना जितना जरूरी है, उतना ही उसको छोड़ना भी जरूरत है फॉर डूइंग द हायर साधन. This is how the mind and Maya create the obstructions and hindrances everywhere. Those things we don't know, our Guru knows. Knowing that Guru knows, we have to surrender to him. He alone will help us in knowing where do we get caught up and how do we transcend that, reach to the next level. गुरु कृपा नहीं है तो हम ऐसे ही अच्छी ही चीज में, लेकिन और लोअर लेवल का होता है, उसमें फंसे रहते हैं. जबकि हायर लेवल में जाने का वी हैव ऑल द क्वालिफिकेशन एज वेल एज द ब्लेसिंग्स. Is it not? Like the people, they don't want to go on transfer and promotion to other place because they are very comfortable in their own house. They don't want to take those risks. ये अच्छा है ऐसा. In this example, limitation is you may true be, it is your hometown, your parents are there. Therefore, it is better to forego the promotion and increment. It is better to stay here. This is okay. But in spirituality, वो नहीं चलता. In spirituality, when a higher opportunity comes, we have to kick the lower. Otherwise, we will be lost only at this level. So, having that way, maintaining our pranamaya, we come to manomaya. Mana is an instrument for the Veda mantras to be expressed by the Lord. Remember? Other than that, nothing should be there in the mind with the infinite capacities that are there in the mind. Mind has infinite capacity. Yet the mind should always have the thoughts. Only the Veda mantra, उपनिषद मंत्र. चलो थोड़ा हम नीचे उतरे तो श्रुति के जो पुराण इतिहास मंत्र, और भी उससे नीचे आए तो गुरु उपदेशित मंत्र और द वाक्य. Any word said by Guru is mantra only. In the mind there are thoughts. That mind can have the thoughts of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, of the Indriyas. The mind can have the thoughts of liking some of them, disliking some of them. Whatever it likes, the mind can have the desire for it. Prompted by that desire, mind can guide the Pranamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, Karmendriyas to do some or the other work to get those desires fulfilled. All these are there in the mind's possibility. That is what we are all involved in. That is the meaning of getting bound by the mind. Just because with the mind all these can be done, we should not do. वही तो टेस्ट है. 2,000 रुपए दे दिया भगवान ने, उससे by doing a great positive spiritual activity, you can earn punya also. With the same 2,000, we can even buy a poison and die, or get a sword and kill other fellow, or eat or drink that nonsense which destroys us. How many possibilities are there in that way in that 2,000 rupees? All of them are there. Does it mean the 2,000 should be misused for that? If you can understand that example, same is here. Mind has capacities. Doesn't mean that it should be used for that. For what purpose mind is given, we must know. And only that purpose you have to fulfill. Is it not? The only purpose of the mana is, mana should always have the thoughts only of the Veda mantra, the Shruti mantra, the Smriti mantra, the Purana mantra, the Itihasa mantra, the Guru Upadeshita mantra, Guru Vakya. Just feel the possibility of it. Feel the beautiful outcome of it, wherein any given time my mind is only entertaining these things. It is not the slave either of vasanas or its own desires or the temptations of the senses or the outer world's pulls. When all of them are not there, in fact, such mind is mind in yoga sthiti. Yada hinendriyarteshu na karmasu anushajyate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga arudas tadochyate. युञ्जन्येवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाण परमां मत्संस्थाम् अधिगच्छति. Same thing we are struggling to understand and do even in the yoga darshan. यार दर्शन शास्त्र कुछ भी हो, सबका साधना मन के ही ऊपर है. इन मन का ऊपर किस तरह? Only two things. Mind is used only for the given purpose, and in other aspects, the mind is made to be completely closed. I am given a government vehicle. Only for the governmental work, I use it. Any other personal work is there. I go by bus or scooter or my own scooter or car or any of the other thing, but I will not use it. Are there not people in this world that do it? Personal ka kaam is scooter. Why should I waste my government wala? It is a papa. They have that bhiti that protects them, not only outside but inside. In the same way, my mind is given only for one purpose. Tasya yajureva shiraha ruk dakshina pakshaha samottara pakshaha adesha atma atharvangirasa pucham pratishtha. This much only the mind. Anything else is projection. Anything else is misguidance. Anything else is destruction. And the destruction of you and I is going away from the spiritual path of self-discovery and moksha. You understood? Manomaya Koshka. Then comes the picture, the next one, VIGNANAMAYA Kosha, whose purpose is having the knowledge of what mantras that are there of the Manomaya, and according to that knowledge, the Kartrutva is there in the VIGNANAMAYA. This VIGNANAMAYA, Karta, according to the knowledge is there in the Vijnanamaya of the Veda mantras regarding the Dravya Yajnas and the Jnana Yajna. He is doing only these two. The Dravya Yajna also is minimized only for survival level. The whole Vijnanamaya should involve only in the Jnana Yajna. If that happens, slowly the Jnanam reveals the self to us. And how this Vijnanamaya has to be maintained, we have already seen. Shraddhaiva Shiraha, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha, Satyam Uttara Pakshaha, Yoga Atma, Brahma Mahapucham Pratishtha. See the clarity, how our Shruti Mata so wonderfully, beautifully explaining to us. And Bhagavan Adi Shankaraji guiding us in how to understand these mantras for our sadhana. Now see that Vijnanamaya, when it has got the authority of Shastra regarding its Dharmartha Kama Pravati and also with Moksha Prapti, without any ambiguity, how beautiful the life is. But my own Vijnanamaya is not thorough in the authority of the Shastra, both for Dharmartha Kama and Moksha. I will go on asking others what the others know. Others you can ask, who is he? The Guru who has the authority of Shastra. जिसने शास्त्र ही नहीं पढ़ा, अब उनको अथॉरिटी मानकर पूछोगे तो he will tell what he knows. Please remember, the world gives what it has, not what we need. So do the people will tell what they know, what not what is correct. Therefore, only the Shastra and Shastra Adhyena Sampurna Guru should be our authority for the Jnanam to do the Yajnas, to gain the things required for survival and to do the things required for our moksha. Why should we give importance to anything else? Why enter into the delusion? When the Pakka, the Shruti Mata is guiding us, your Vijnanamaya Kosha should have the Jnanam of the Shastras so that you know what to do for your survival. You know what to do when you are surviving. The purpose of the life. Be in that mood only. The moment the mind projects any desire, the Vijnanamaya should protect himself, set right the mind. Is it not? What is done generally? The Vijnanamaya loses its hold on itself, gets sold to the mind, and makes the mind also habitually destroyed. मन में कोई कामना है तो बुद्धि कहना चाहिए यार ये कामना पूर्ण करने के लिए मैं नहीं हूं, मैं तो अपना आत्मज्ञान पाने के लिए हूं. If this is done by Vijnana, Vijnanamaya Kosha has protected itself and it has put the mind in the right direction. Instead of that, if the Vijnanamaya हाथ मिलाता है मानो मनोमय से, चल यार फुलफिल करेंगे, अब बताओ कैसे करें, चलो ये करो वो करो. The Vijnanamaya's purpose is defeated of Jnana and Moksha, and mind's desiring ability is strengthened. This is how we become samsari. That's why the three things that are told in Gita chapter 2. Indriyanam hi charatam yat manah anuvidiyat. That mind which is a slave to the grazing sense organs. The problem is not to the senses or the mind. What is the problem? To whom is the problem? Krishna Bhagavan says, Tad asya harati prajna. This activity of the mind running behind the sense organs sees to it that the prajna of this Vyakti of the Vijnanamaya Kosha, where he through the study of Shastra, listening from the Guru, made the Paramatma as the goal, that prajna is looted. Once the buddhi stops its work of prajna of knowing the goal and knowing the means and pursuing the means to reach the goal, then he is no more a human being, who is no more a being promised for his own spiritual evolution. That is where we are all. Many of us don't have prajna, and those prajna, those who have, that is being unused or misused or left without being used, because charatam indriyanam manaha anuvidhiyate. Vijnanamaya Kosha. It's my Vijnanamaya Kosha. I have to protect it. Under the guidance of Vijnanamaya Kosha, the Mano, Prana, and Anna should work for. It's not that those three becoming a jodi or team destroying the Vijnana. This is how the disintegrated split personality and integrated inner personality. That is called as split personality, where the Vijnanamaya is the slave to other three. And all these three have no Vijnana in them of the goal. Mana can do only desire, sankalpa vikalpa. It's a Maya. Mind is Maya at play. उसको उससे ज़्यादा कुछ पता ही नहीं. Like when you ask your children, बेटा कहाँ जाए, वो कहते हैं पापा खेलने के लिए ग्राउंड जाएंगे, या नहीं तो घूमने के लिए वहाँ जाएंगे, या खाने के लिए होटल जाएंगे, या खिलौना खरीदने के लिए शॉप में जाएंगे. यू विल नॉट टेल पापा स्वामी जी के जाएंगे, सत्संग सुनेंगे, या मंदिर में जाकर उपासना करेंगे, या जाकर सोसाइटी का सेवा करेंगे. भाई हिज माइंड इज नॉट मेच्योर टू दैट इज अ चाइल्ड. उसका वही औकात है. ही कैनॉट थिंक ऑल दैट. Therefore, should you ask that stupid young fellow, बता बेटा आज संडे है क्या करें? कोई भी दिमाग वाला father will he ask that useless child what to do? If you ask, he will tell that only. He should tell the child, अरे आज छुट्टी है, चल 2 घंटे खेल के आ. Then I am taking you to temple. I am taking to you that Guru Maharaj will get his blessings, or I am teaching you these shlokas. If you ask the child, he will tell what is his level. So to mind is a child. It only knows do the sankalpa of the outer vishyas. It only knows how to create desires according to the vasanas. It only knows how to get influenced by the senses and perception. How can Vijnanamaya Kosha contact the mana for guidance? पागल है क्या? You understood? And what is the integrated personality? Mana has got only the thoughts or the shabdas of all the Veda mantras, and Buddhi has got the knowledge of it. Then the Prana Shakti and Sharira are following the Buddhi's Nishchaya and Manas mantras for practicing at the gross level wherever it is to be practiced. That is called a very integrated personality. That person alone lives a noble life outside, therefore safe and secured. Spiritual life inside, therefore walking towards the goal. This is what is analysis of the Pancha Koshas, please. This is what is hidden behind as the understanding and practice of the explanations given to us by the Shruti Mata through the main mantras, by Bhashyakara through his Bhashyam. So up to this we saw. Then the next portion came for this Vijnanamaya Kosha, all these 5 limbs, Shraddhaiva Shiraha, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha, Satyam Uttara Pakshaha, then Yoga Atma, Maha Pucham Pratishtha, all we saw. Having said so, the next topic was the quotation from the Rig Veda about the existence and greatness of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. We have seen it. Vijnanam Yagnam Tanute Karmani Tanute Picho. That's it. This much is enough for understanding about Vijnanamaya Kosha. What is that? The Vijnanamaya Kosha alone has the understanding about, conviction about the life should be lived as yajna. And having understood in the Vijnanamaya Kosha alone is the Karta who does the karma of the yajnas only, nothing other than that. तो विज्ञानम तनुते यज्ञम, विज्ञानमय कोश में ही यज्ञ का स्पष्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. और वो यज्ञ को कर्म के रूप में मीन्स प्रैक्टिकली द विज्ञानमय अलोनली डस, देयरफॉर कर्माणि तनुते विच. So Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute, you can understand as the theoretical understanding about the yajna to be performed. Karmani Tanute means practically doing. Both of them are there in Vijnanamaya's purview and capacity. In fact, that is the only purpose of Vijnanamaya Kosha. वेदों को समझो, उसमें यज्ञ बताया, उसको समझकर मन शरीर इंद्रियों से उन यज्ञों को करो. One yajna for the sake of survival, minimum. Other yajna for the moksha. ज्ञान यज्ञ कहते हैं उसको. विज्ञानमय कोश should do the dravya yajna little bit for antakarana shuddhi, jnana yajna more and more, more and more. Through the jnana yajna, when the self is realized, thereafter the Lord will make use of us for the samashti's benefit in whatever the way He chooses. Let us surrender it to Him at that time. In the beginning, to come out of our own selfishness, etc., definitely for some time. Not only selfishness, but slavery to Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, definitely we have to do the social services. Social service purpose is only to come out of selfishness, come out of our own Deha Indra Prana Tadatma. More than that, the social service again is an obligation, it's a bondage. वहां तक करो. बाकी after that the goal should be only reaching Paramatma. Okay, after reaching Paramatma, again in the chosen field by the Lord, let us serve. Why should we insist that we should be serving only here? Bhagavan will decide, no? And don't justify, अब भगवान ही हमको इधर करवा रहे. Is it not? This is how our ego makes us. We even quote, मेरे गुरु ने 50 साल पहले ये कहा. अरे वो गुरु इतने बार मर गए, अब वो जिंदा है तो वो ये थोड़ी बोलेंगे. वो he will not come to you to tell. Every guru, every god speaks only through Shastra. Is it not? No guru will tell for the future things, everything continuously. If he tells you to do this right now, doesn't mean only do that. The guru is he who tells us to realize the self. To realize the self, one has to go to meditation with all the clarity of knowledge. Knowledge comes only in the Shastra heard through the satsang. If the Guru tells me to do that, does it mean he is a Guru? Is he telling me only to do that? He told me to do that at that moment for inner purity. Thereafter, what is next? What is next? We have to ask. Not the outer Guru, but the inner Guru. If you luckily have the outer Guru and faith, you ask. He will tell us. If any Guru, instead of one particular Guru, when you believe the Guru Tattva, then through some Guru, that the Guru Tattva speaks. यहाँ तक जो हो गया तुम्हारा हो गया, अब आगे बढ़ो. All in all, we have to be very clear in our intellectual clarity and maturity. Where I have to reach, what are the steps involved, which step I are now have done with my sadhana at this level or step, and then I should go for the next. इस तरह से हमको समझकर जीवन को जीना है. तो विज्ञानम यज्ञम तनुते कर्माणि तनुते विच. नाउ विज्ञानमय कोश का ब्रह्म का उपासना भी करना है. दैट विल ऑल्सो हैव टू पर्पसेस ऑफ increasing our comfort convenience level. Second is what? Increasing our ability power level to reach to the ultimate truth, which is our main goal. Okay. Therefore, here the Vijnanamaya Kosha as Hiranyagarbha and Vijnanamaya Kosha, Hiranyagarbha, both as Parabrahma, this Upasana is taught. Before that is done, the Devatas examples are given. Vijnanam Devaha Sarve Brahma Jeshtamupasate. ऑलरेडी पहले ही अथॉरिटी हमको बताया, पहले ही एग्जाम्पल बताया, तो इट बिकम्स ईजियर. And the explanation of it, now we will not study the entire Bhashya. The summary of it is what? All the Ajnadi Devatas do the Upasana of the Hiranyagarbha. Okay? And then why do they do? How do they do? What for they do? The three questions. Why do they do? Because he is Prathama. Jeshta is the word used. He is Prathama, and all the Devatas, whatever they are doing, it is by the help and grace of that Prathama Jeshta Avirbhuta Hiranyagarbha only. तो वो सबसे पहले आए हैं, उनके कारण हम हैं, इसलिए हमको उन्हीं का उपासना करना है. Okay? This is how the clarity is given for the first question. Why they do the upasana? Then how do they do upasana? The upasana done by the Devatas is what? Ki I am not separate from that Hiranyagarbha. that Brahma, that Mahat Brahma, the Samashti Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. I am not separate from them, from him. He alone is expressing through me. None of anything of me is my own independent. It is him only. This is what the upasana they do, that is being taught to us. Okay? Tasmin Vignanamaye Brahmani Abhimanam Krutva Upasate Ityartaha. Tasmin Vignanamaye Brahmani Abhimanam Krutva. So, right now, a separate Abhimana was maintained by you and I as Jiva, but Devatas do. The Vijnanamaya Brahma Abhiman. Abhimana is identity. So, because of our special abilities given, we feel like having a special identity. Actually, the special abilities are given for a specific work. More than that specific work, the special ability should not separate us from the totality. Then I am a finance minister. So, from the special ability point of view, I am a finance minister taking care of the finance aspects of the nation. That should not separate me from the entire nation. First of all, I am a citizen of the nation. Second, I am a part of the government. Third, I am a part of the ministry. Then comes the fourth one, because of the specific qualities, I am made as finance minister. Involving as finance minister, we should not forget the other basic things. In the same way, the devatas have caught this knack. Therefore, for example, if it is Agni, he is given the job of Dahakatva. While doing that Dahakatva, unlike us, he is not maintaining a separate identity कि मैं दाहक करने वाला हूँ, मैं सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट हूँ या मैं इंडिपेंडेंट हूँ. No. From the Dahakatva capacity, you are Dahaka, that is your job. Yours is not the job of the Varuna, nor the job of Surya, and their job is not yours. Up to that, it is okay. But where are you have come from, O Agni? You are an expression of the Samashti, Hiranyagarbha only. Therefore, I am in particular an Agni, but in general, I am the part of Samashti only. This is called as Abhimanam Krutva. Upasana. So never ever have any separation from the Samishti. That is called the Upasana they do. Then what is the result? The two results told are Jnanavantaha, Aishwaryavantaha, Bhavanti. They have become Jnanavan, means the special abilities, capacities for them to do a particular work that is given, and the Aishwaryavantaha, they are given the power and permission to do that because of their surrender to the Samashti. We have given all the examples for that. To whom the government gives any of the posts, army may let us say bigger and bigger, only when they know that this particular officer will protect the frontiers of the nation. दवा ने जो लोअर लेवल में ही साबित किया देशद्रोही है, अरे वेरी गुड यार, ये देशद्रोही है, चलो इसको हम प्रमोट करेंगे, ऐसा करते हैं क्या? In the same way, the Mahat Brahma, when he knows that the Agni, Jiva, is serving Mahat Brahma only, then the Mahat Brahma gives the Agni the power as well as the Jnanam. Jnanam of the Agni Shakti, and the Aishwarya means the permission, position given to him, go and do this. Now the Agni Deva nikle hain kaam karne. So what he does, he is there in the outer world giving forms to everything. He is there in maintaining the life in our individual. He is there for doing the digestion of whatever we eat. He is there to cook the food when it is exposed. All that Agni Deva is going on doing the work. He does at Samishti level required the forest Jalana. He will come as a volcano, which are all required in the Samashti destined by the Hiranyagarbha. तो हिरण्यगर्भ के तादात्म्य करते हुए हिरण्यगर्भ के सेवक के रूप में होना अग्निदेव का उपासना है. One example again. So too Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, every one of them are doing the upasana of Hiranyagarbha by Abhimanam Krutva. And what is the Abhimanam? I am not a separate entity from that Hiranyagarbha. In fact, he alone is expressing through me. The expressed in me is not at all binding me to separate me from him. Maintaining that thought. That is called as upasanam krutva. So same is for us also that we should do the abhimana karanavala upasana. So like I am here as a speaker, as acharya of, let us say, Upanishadu. This is a vritti given by the Samashti Hiranyagarbha to me. I am doing it, but heart in heart, I must know that this entire ability is given by him, entire position is given by him, work is given by him. In fact, he alone is expressing through me. The more we do this type of upasana, me as a separate entity from Hiranyagarbha goes on reducing. To the extent the separation gets reduced, I will become nearer and nearer to him. That is called as upasana. And its ultimate parakasta level, I just merge in him only. Then, as much he is in the bliss and happiness, that Hiranyagarbha, so will become my happiness. But yet, it is not Brahmanubhuti. Brahmanubhuti is our purpose. But this is Avantara Vishayas. No, when you see in our Adhyatmika Shastras, whenever something is mentioned about desire fulfillment, something is mentioned about the achievement of the siddhis, something is mentioned about some atindriya shaktis, all of them are only to tell us that you are on the path. They are like the milestones, signposts. The milestone only tells that you are on the right path. You keep on moving. Is it not? For telling us that we are on the path, these Shaktis, these powers are given not to get lost there. In the same way, even up to Mahat Brahma Hiranyagarbha we get, yet we are bound if we are not the Brahma Jnani. Therefore, here is a trial is given and temptation is given. Trial is to increase your Jiva Bhava, even up to the level of Hiranyagarbha you can become. And in that only there is a temptation that once you are one with Hiranyagarbha, as many Sukha Bhoga of him are yours. I gave the example for this 12-15 days back. An ordinary person slowly became governor, and all the governor respects that person got. That governor of state suddenly became the president of entire nation. Then how many comforts, experiences are there of that jiva at that position? He's a Hiranyagarbha level. All the Trivila Dhala, the entire parliament, every nation will have to salute it. Slowly, with the identification of the Samashti Upadhi, the respective or the due respects and sukha, all of them have come. What a position being a president of a nation. Few years back, only governor. Few years back, only a minister MLA. उससे पहले क्या थे? Only an ordinary teacher. उससे पहले only student. उससे पहले एक छोटा बच्चा. So bacha become student, student become educated, educated become teacher, he become the minister or the MLA, etc., councillor, then governor, then. So what's happening there? The individuality, upadhi's capacity is increased, so too the expression also increased. The highest upadhi at the national level is president. प्रेसिडेंट उपाधि में आने के बाद उस जीव को उस प्रेसिडेंट को जो भी मिलते हैं वो मिल जाते. But again, the same example doesn't mean somebody Prime Minister or President of India, that is a realized self. Is not? That is why after 5 years you are removed. What is the position of the ex-presidents now? कोई नाम भी नहीं याद रहता हमको. In the same way, the Hiranyagarbha, the Brahmadeva, he will also retire. That will come today in our, what is the text? Patanjali Yoga Darshanam. Today or tomorrow it will come. Therefore, it is a temptation. We should not get tempted. But it is given to us to show that when you rise in your upadhi tadatmya from individual to total, your comforts are growing. If you don't go for the Brahma Tattva, at least rise in yourself And less suffer and more comfortable you can become through the upasana of the Hiranyagarbha. That's how, from this type of portions of Veda only, the entire Puranika Upasana Kandas came, which has expanded even to tell us that through your Upasana of the Yurishta Deva, you will get all the sukhas here, you will get better lokas, even better than that. To that Ishta Devatas, loka itself you go. It's called as Alokya Mukti, it's called as Savipya, it's called Sarupya, it is Sayujya. See what we are seeing in Adhyatma Ramayana? It was the Jatayu, then yesterday the Kabandha, and today, tomorrow we'll see Shabari. All of them are getting the Sarupya or Salokya or Samipya Muktis. What is said, all that in the Purana Ityasa has the authority of here in the Vedas, in the Upanishads. So it's only to say that the Mahat Brahma Upasana, when you do from the Vijnanamaya, you will be evolved in your Vijnanamaya sthiti. But our goal is not that. Our goal is Aham Brahmasmi only. But it is said, like Anna Brahma Upasana is done, then you will never have the food problem, so you need not waste your time. So to the Prana Brahma Upasana is done, so you will live full lifespan given to you. You will not be afraid कि मैं बीच में मरूंगा. It's not like somebody when he fully believes in Jyotish. And Jyotish he said मतलब बोलो कि तुम 99 years बतकोगे मतलब जियो तुम्हारा लाइफ स्पेन. At the age of 65, let us say he had got a problem. He will not be worried because Jyotish told me I'll live 99. That fear will not be there. In the same way, the authority is given here. Prana ka Brahma ka upasana karoge. So in between for any other reason, you will not die. So Purna you will have. It is good, no? When the food supply is there, body is maintained. Then the long life is there, fear of death is not there. With that, you can do your sadhana. For the sake of easy sadhana to avoid the problems, the upasanas are mentioned of each kosha as the Brahma. So Annam Brahmeti Vajanat or Prano Brahm. It will come again in the future. Vallis again it will come. Next Valli maybe aayega. So too, we should know why Shruti Mata is telling us to do that upasana. Otherwise, Shruti Mata must be contradicting. At one place, she says, Yovedanitam Guhaya Parame Yoman Soshnute. When you are indicating Satyam Jnanavantam as Brahma as goal, how are you telling the Mahat Brahma Upasana Karo? We should have the common sense. Ki to whom, for what purpose Shruti Mata is telling. The common sense is this much. Parabrahma alone is goal, but Upasana to Mahat Brahma indicated for you and I, the jivas of each of the kosha, is only for the koshas to become sufficiently assets enough for pursuing the sadhana of Parabrahma, to not have any problems. Like when you do upasana, the tirtham is given. Akalam tyaranam sarvayad nivaranam samasta pamakshekanam. This is not the goal. बट वेन द अकाल मृत्यु का हरण हो गया और पापों का क्षय हो गया है, then my personality will fit enough to do the bhakti or jnana marga, reach to Bhagavan. Like a doctor or yoga acharya makes a patient or the person healthy. To be healthy is not the goal, no? With the health of the body, fulfill your dharma. In the same way, Mahat Brahma Upasana is to eliminate all these defects or the shortcomings in the Upadis. Not for getting all the Sukha Bhoga from that Mahat Brahma, though he is ready to give. Hiranyagarbha Mahat Brahma is Yamadharmaraj only. Yamadharmaraj only gave everything to Nachiketa. Nachiketa ने मना कर दिया कि नहीं. Then only he became deserving for Brahma Vidya. अगर वो कुछ ना कुछ ले लेता तो उसको मिल जाता, but not Brahma. Whatever Yamaraj gave, anything if he had taken, he would have enjoyed it, but he would have missed Brahmas. That is why intelligently Nachiket said, you know that? Here you go. When I came to you, will you send me empty handed? You will definitely give. Why will I waste my boon for it? And as long as you are alive, you will not kill me also. Because I am now your child, your beloved child, your disciple. So why should I waste my boon either for the wealth or the longevity? Because obviously you will give it. Very cute and intelligent that boy. He says, why should I especially worry? आपके पास आया मैं, अब इतना आप टेम्प्ट कर रहे हो, मैंने मना किया, खाली हाथ थोड़ी भेजोगे, जो चाहिए मिल ही जाएगा. And about the lifelong also, as long as you are there, I am going to be alive. You will not kill me. So this fellow is very intelligently asked the boon without wasting the boon. He says in that Kathopanishad, as long as you are there, I am going to be there. So, Swayam Jiva Shardo Yava and all that. यमराज मस्ट बी लोटपोट होके हंस रहे होंगे, ये सुनकर क्या इंटेलिजेंट है. The child says both. These are all Shobhava, Vartasya, Dantaka. Again he says, if I need them, you will anyway supply. I will not waste my visit to you for those things. I am very clear about my purpose. So in this way, the upasanas of any of the devatas, we have to do only for our intactness and integration of our upadhis, so that our Brahma Anveshanam is without any obstruction. Anything else is wrong. Anything else is mistaken steps that will only take us away from the truth toward the untruth, and from the liberation toward the bondage. This clarity I must have, you must have, every one of us must have. That day when we have it, then we are blessed by Shruti Mata and Guru. Our study regular of the Shastras is slowly giving us the result. Our prema, bhakti for our Upanishad Rishis and Upanishad Shastra is giving us the blessings, the result of it. हो गया, यहाँ तक हो गया. अब now we have to see the upasana of Vijnanamaya Kosha as Brahma Tattva or Mahat Brahma. Then one precaution we saw yesterday, that again we will repeat. Thereafter, what is the result of it will be told to us. Then by the time we are settling that therefore I am not Anna Prana Mano, I am Vijnanamaya, immediately again the Guru Maharaj says, Ruko, 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 bhai, even this is not you, there is another inside the Ananda. Okay. And Anandamaya is Bhokta Pradhana Kosha. Vijnanamaya is Kartru Pradhana Kosha. Manomaya is Jnana Vishaya Pradhana Kosha. Pranamaya is Shakti Pradhana Kosha. Annamaya is Sthala Pradhana Kosha. Place to stay for the Jiva in me. This is how each of the kosha, as much crystal clearly we think and understand, so much better for our spiritual sadhana. And all this clarity, again, the Shruti Mata, the Guru, the Ishvara gives when we are regular, sincere in our classes, when we are regular, sincere in our upasana to them. And the upasana is only for this. Give us the clarity of the Shastra Jnanam, conviction in that, and the ability to live up to it. इस तरह का जिनके अंदर स्पष्टता है, they will definitely be blessed by them and they evolve also. Now what is this upasana and phala? Let us spend one more day tomorrow to study. Then we will see the Anandamaya Kosha, thereafter the Brahma Tattva Vicharana. At the time of Brahma Tattva Vicharana, lot of prashna asked by the Purvapakshi, the answers given by Siddhanti. Is a very delightful, all engrossing, enchanting, entertaining involvement. The study of the Prashnottari. Let's see, Bhagwan जैसे चाहते हैं. सर्वम ऋषीणाम गुरूणाम देवतानाम शरणारविंदारुणस्तु. ओम 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 पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परमर्षिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. श्री वेदव्यास वैशम्पायनाग्निवल्क्यादि शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. तत्सत्. Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, friends. Try not to miss our Upanishad classes. As I told you, one day we'll understand, another day less, some other day zero. But maintaining that regularity is the one makes the Shruti Mata and Guru Parampara pleased with us. Then they take initiative to remove our inner order obstructions and make the path to study, understand, do sadhana easier and clearer. Mhm. Array? What is this? Yes, friends. Hari Om.